I decided to do this video in lieu of a more like whimsical one, because even though at this point I've built up enough like coping mechanisms that I don't get as affected by the news as I used to. Tragedies that have hit the world this week have shaken me, and I know I can't be alone. I can't be the only one who struggles with these feelings of like helplessness and hopelessness and anxiety. Yeah, all of it's kind of brought back my need, like brought to light my need to have these coping mechanisms, and I'm really glad I have them. Like, you know what? I'm gonna share. So these are my strategies and coping mechanisms to fight off feelings of impending doom brought on by the news and tragedies happening in the world. I am someone who is I'm very sensitive to injustice in the world. It bothers me so badly. I envy people that can just be like, oh, that's not my problem. Like, I don't care. Actually, I don't. I'm glad I have the amount of empathy I have so that I can help the people I help, but it can feel very heavy. Because of that, like for a really long time, the worry about the news, about politics, about injustice, I became obsessive. It made me angry and bitter. That's where you get to like, you're fighting people you don't know on Facebook. You get scared to go outside. You get scared to go to the grocery store. It doesn't help. Like, none of it. You can't live that way. Not live, you know? And we want to live. That's what we're about on this channel. Here they are. Number one, I'm calling the Olaf strategy because I had it before Olaf, but he phrased it so well, and now I think of him every time I'm doing it. I'm gonna say this again, if you're not used to it by now. Get used to me referencing cartoons, TV of any kind. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna reference things. You'll have examples. You'll never have to worry about having like no examples, because I will make sure you have examples. I don't know if you guys have seen Frozen 2. At the beginning, when everything's first going haywire, they're evacuating everyone out of the city. And it pans over at one point, Kristoff's handing out blankets to everyone. He looks over at Olaf, who's sitting with the kids. And Kristoff's like, Olaf, you okay? And Olaf's like, yeah. This is what we call controlling what we can when things feel out of control.
You okay there, Olaf?
Oh yeah, we're calling this controlling what you can when things feel out of control.
Okay. Showing them other things like to do in that moment. That is so paramount. That's number one. If you don't do anything else, that's the thing to remember from this video. Control what you can. Control the things you can. You know, as a singular human being, you can't do a whole lot, but you can do something. And the energy you decide to emit while doing these things is what's really going to make the difference. For example, I started looking for things that I could do to help the situation. Like create more loving awareness around the topic. And I say loving awareness because, again, creating awareness that's based in anger or vengefulness or righteousness is not going to get the attention that you need. It's not going to get the attention that the cause needs. If you're trying to bring awareness to being a vegetarian, if you're coming at people and you're telling them like, look at all the harm you're doing, you should be ashamed of yourself, when you're saying it, people aren't going to hear you. Think about when you listen to people best. Is it when they're coming to you from a place of understanding, or is it when they're coming at you from a place of judgment or misunderstanding or miscommunication? Show it in a positive light. Make people see it the way you see it, like with love and with that care. Yes, of course, it's okay to be angry about these things and angry about these injustices, but realize that that anger comes from a place of wanting to heal and knowing that we can. And the way to heal is with love and understanding, like trying to move forward step by step, knowing that none of us are perfect. Be patient with yourself and with each other. And then look around. Just look around you. The thing that bothers me really bad is just how we treat the world in general, is litter, is fossil fuels, recycling, things like that. We can all change. So I work very hard to change them, and I share my love of doing those things with the people around me, online. I adopted a road. I've been picking up the litter. Even if I'm only picking up the litter on that road right now, for one, it's inspired me to want to go pick up litter on other roads, just for funsies. Like, why not? I have extra time. I can go pick up the trash on this road. And it'll look so much better, and I'll feel so much better when it's done, because you feel like you're taking care of your friend. You're like, you know, when your friend's having a bad week or whatever, and you go over to their house and you like clean their room for them. That's what it feels like to go clean up the road for Mother Earth. It's like, I can't, you know, clean the rivers and the oceans, but I can make that road better. I can make my whole town better if I want to, or just pick up litter everywhere I go. You know, there's little things you can do, and those little things will inspire you to do more little things, and then the little things will become big things, and you doing these things and becoming passionate about them and loving them will inspire other people to become passionate and love them. There's another quote that I love, and it's from the movie Klaus, which is a Christmas movie. I could watch it all year though. It's on Netflix. The quote goes, "One selfless act always inspires another." I hold on to it. I keep that, and in times like these, that's really important too. I can't clean the whole world, but I can clean a street. You may not can solve world hunger, but I guarantee you there's a food box in your town where you can donate food to families in need. I know in my hometown there are food boxes called Hunter's House that my sister started for her senior project. So anyone from my hometown watching this video, if you're feeling, you know, called to help, go donate some food to a Hunter's House. Just try to make the world a kinder place. Obviously you can't go to Israel and mend all those broken hearts, but you can mend some broken hearts that are here, and maybe those broken hearts one day will help heal the rest of the world. That's a beautiful thing about being a human. The second one is make plans. Kind of goes with the first one in the we're controlling what we can. Making plans just kind of helps us solidify that control. It helps us like set up our vision, and when we can envision a better future and we have plans, like solid plans for a better future, you know, that really tells that anxiety like, it's okay. We're going to do something about it, so it's good. Like, it's going to be okay. And of course, this thought process takes time. Like, it takes time to get to a place where these things are going to, like, really calm you down. This is where it's important to have faith in yourself. It's important to have faith in your fellow humans, having lots of love and lots of hope. So we're going to make plans. Plan how we can be more active in our communities. Find a road to adopt, a highway. Find a shelter for animals or humans to volunteer at their own way, like the ways that you don't see in your community that things are being handled. You can fully just come up with a nonprofit of your own. Paperwork's kind of hard, but if this is something that needs to be done, the universe will make sure like you get the help that you need to get that thing done. So if you're seeing a need that's not being filled in your community, get creative with it. That might be why you're having so much anxiety, is because you were one of those humans who were put here to fix it. Isn't that cool? Isn't that crazy? Have you ever thought about that? You're important. Maybe this anxiety isn't hopeless anxiety. Maybe it's anxiety that's pushing you forward. We're going to talk more about that too. If you're not making like a solid plan to like, you know, work one Saturday a month at the homeless shelter, the soup kitchen, one Saturday a month picking up trash. If it's not something like that, then you can do like a big thing, like your dream world. Plan out what the world's going to look like after you do all the amazing things that you plan to do, and your friends do all the amazing things that you're going to inspire them to do. What does that world look like? Envision it every day. Every time these bad things happen, you picture that world, because we're going to go there. It's not that world yet, and it's really hard, and there are people suffering, but we can't fix that suffering by, you know, just kind of laying down and letting it happen, by letting our fear shut us down. We combat that suffering with hope, and we combat that suffering with love and with support. Get inspired by your pain. Get inspired by your fear. Don't let it shut you down. We need each other now more than ever. It's so important that we all just really try to find love for each other in times like this. And then even to dial it back even more. Take the activism out of it for a minute. Take yourself out of the big scale, terrifying world, and let's just bring it down to your day, to where you are in your house. Obviously, this isn't for people who are in war-torn countries where they can't be safe in their homes. It's for people like me who are living idyllic and safe lives, feeling guilty for it. That's okay too. Turn it into love. Remember where you are, what you can do. Breathe. Really breathe. Feel that breath. And let's just plan the next 5 minutes. Let's plan the next hour, the next day, the next week, the next month. Shrink it. Make life more manageable. Manage your life first, and then we'll move to the big stuff. The third, let yourself feel these feelings. Be vulnerable, even if it seems pointless. Feeling these feelings, sympathizing with your fellow human, even if it's in a painful way, is such a beautiful and powerful thing. Don't try to shut yourself down. You're allowed to be afraid. You're allowed to feel guilty. You're allowed to be scared. Acknowledge the validity of those feelings in a time like this, in a world like this, in a society like this. It's totally normal to feel those things. You have to feel them before you can channel them, my friends. Feel that hurt. That pain is connecting you to someone else. Like I was saying before, if you're someone who's fully safe somewhere and feeling really bad about it, when you feel that pain and you feel that guilt, know that that is connecting you to someone who is hurting. How beautiful is that? That you care so much for people who you've never met and probably never will. That's beautiful. Don't let that go. Don't be ashamed of that. Use that love. Connect with those people. Even if it doesn't feel like it's making a difference, it is. And to be vulnerable and to be soft and kind and loving in this world is an act of rebellion. So if you're worried that your sadness, your pain is making you unable to fight these injustices, you're wrong. Being kind, being loving, that is exactly what we need. That's exactly what we have to use to get the point across, to connect with others, to forgive ourselves so we can forgive others and make progress. All of that comes from loving and being kind and being soft and vulnerable together. I don't know how else to tell y'all. I'm going to read you a little excerpt I have. I love this book so much. It's like my Bible. I highly suggest you read it even if you're not a woman. Wait, I want to read you this because it really resonates with me and I really come back to it every time something like this happens. So, collective anger or rage is also a natural function. There is such a phenomenon as group hurt, group grief. Women who become socially, politically, or culturally conscious often find that they have to deal with a collective rage that seeps upward through them again and again. It is physically sound for women to feel this anger. It is physically sound for them to use this anger about injustice to invent ways to elicit useful change. It is not psychologically sound for them to neutralize their anger so they will not feel, so they therefore not press for evolution and change. As with personal rage, collective anger is also a teacher. Women can consult with it, question it in solitude and with others, and act upon their conclusions. There is a difference between carrying around old ingrown rage and stirring it with a new stick to see what constructive uses can come of it. Collective rage is well utilized as motivation to seek out or offer support, to conceive of ways to impel groups or individuals into dialogue, or to demand accountability, progress, and improvements. These are the proper processes and the patterns of women coming to consciousness. These are appropriate to their caring about what is essential and important to them. It is part of the healthy instinctual psyche to have deep reactions to disrespect, threat, and injury. Devout reaction is a natural and expected part of learning about the collective worlds of the soul and psyche. So well said, Clarissa. I wish I could hug her. Like when you're feeling hopeless, when you're feeling like love is lost, that's when we need it the most. So ramp yours up. Ramp it up. Every human on this planet, even the bad ones, are capable of doing good. And no amount of goodness ever goes unnoticed by the universe, even if it seems like it initially. Keep your hope. Keep your love. People like you and me can do a lot when we do it together. Remember to breathe. Each breath is a gift, another chance, another moment. Let the reminder of your mortality embolden you to live more in spite of the semi-presence of time. Your essence, your energy is infinite. It's divine. It keeps going long after you cease. The way you use it matters. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe so you can hang out with me on all of our adventures to come. I love you, beans. Until next time.